So we are back after, what is it? It's been a month since my last interview, but I'm back and I'm joined by a very, very special guest who is making his return fight on December the 19th against Marlon Moraes. Rob Font, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. Just, enjoying this weather, enjoying some coffee, and then again, appreciate you having me on, bro.
No worries, it's my pleasure. I mean, first of all, I've got to start about how's your Thanksgiving been? I mean, I know that's huge in America.
It was horrible. I didn't get to eat. But it's been like that for the last 4 years, honestly. Like
Mm.
so it's like it is what it is. I get to, I guess it was a little easier this time because my family and we didn't do much because of the COVID and all that. But yeah, I don't get to eat much. Little taste of turkey here, and a lot of vegetables and a workout at the end of the night. But yeah, it's just what it is. It's just kind of like weight cutting season for me. Come around Thanksgiving in November.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't sound like the best things you can do for Thanksgiving, that's for sure. I mean, you haven't had a great year. I mean, your last fight was last year, a win against Ricky Simon. You had that ACL injury, and I know what it's like to recover from an ACL injury as well, as I've had one. So, how was that with you, with your rehab in Vegas, everything? Did you just focus on that, or did you just find outlets that you could do whilst you were recovering?
Yeah, so my whole thing was after the obviously after the Ricky Simone fight, we did surgery in January, and then right after that, it was in Vegas rehabbing. Then I got back, and then that's when I kind of like the pandemic really just hit, and then everything got shut down. The only thing I could do was rehab, and then that's all I did was rehab. I basically turned rehab into my new martial art, and that's just focused on that, and then poured all my energy into that. I was doing 4 days a week, and plus whatever I could do at the house, and then before you knew it, I was shadowboxing, moving around, squatting, riding the bike, and then it was just all right, cool. I just can't technically do martial arts, but I can still shadowbox, I still lift, and that was cool. I was just happy with that, and I just took that to the next level of just heavy with the shadowboxing, watching a lot of film. I broke down a lot of my fights, all my losses. I broke down all my wins. I even went back to the fights I did in on the amateur, even in the local scene, and just kind of like broke myself down. And then I just started watching MMA, as much as possible, and trying to like figure out little details on techniques and timing and understanding momentum and all that stuff. So I kept myself busy while I was rehabbing, and then before you knew it, I got cleared, and then I got the email and the call from or my manager and Coach Tyson got the email and call from Sean Shelby saying we're fighting Marlon Moraes. I was like, perfect, let's do this.
Nice. I mean, yeah, I mean, before we do get into that fight, I've got to know you. Obviously, in your layoff, you've been watching all the fights, preparing, but what's been your favorite fight this year so far? If you had to pick one, I know there's a lot to choose from, but there's got
It's
to be
gotta
one.
be it's gotta be every Calvin Cater fight, man.
Had a feeling you were going to say that, definitely for sure. I mean, been in some
I mean,
great
come on,
fights.
think about it. So you see what he did to Jeremy Stevens, right?
Mm,
Devastating, big elbow, and
elbow.
then he in a tough, exciting main event with Dan Ige. So yeah, I'm a big fan of him as well. So definitely, I would say Calvin Cater all day, baby.
Yeah, and obviously with Calvin Cater, big friends and obviously big training partner. So what's it been like? Obviously, he has a fight to prepare for against Max in January. So with obviously the COVID, the smaller training groups, I mean, has that helped you sharpen your craft? I mean, what's the most thing that's benefited you, if anything, from these smaller groups?
I think it's kind of like taking the kid out of the classroom
Mm.
with all his friends and then putting him in the library with the tutor. I think that's basically what we did. We just basically didn't do the big group sessions anymore, and then brought a small group in, and then just worked on small little details like you would do with a tutor, so to say. But besides that, everything else has been the same. Just none of those big group sparring sessions that we used to have.
Nice. I mean, obviously with your knee and obviously looking to fight big factors for you. I mean, you're obviously really good with your footwork. You've got the longer reach. So how's like working on your footwork been with your knee? Has that been all right, or has it taken time to adjust?
No, getting money, bro. Like I said, in my mind, I got a brand new knee, so I'm like, shit, hell yeah, I'm. You know what I'm saying? I got a brand new knee. It's 100%. Um, yeah, it's not. I'm not. I don't even think about it right now. And people are surprised like how well I adapted, and it was just. I just put the faith into the UFC staff, and then just the work. And that was it. Sat down, put the work. Um, and yeah, I was shit. I was good within a couple of weeks. I was good within a couple of weeks, and I was moving around, feeling great. So brand new knee, so I had nothing to complain about.
Nice. I mean, obviously we're coming to the end of a pretty brutal year and going into 2021. So is this the perfect time for you to fight, make a statement now, and then look on to next year and try and get a quick turnaround?
That's the plan, get in there, finish this fight, win this fight, and then get back to work, helping Calvin win his fight, and then wait for that email and see what we get next.
I mean, and also with the circumstances and everything, you've got number 3 Marlon Moraes. I mean, he's had mixed results. He's had a couple losses, and that win against Aldo, which was a bit controversial. So, do you really think with this golden opportunity, is this your time? Is this going to be your year next year?
Definitely gonna be my year. As far as his mixed results, I'm expecting him to come in stronger. I know I bounced back off of each loss, so my opinion, I'm fighting the best Marlon Moraes. So I'm not looking too much into his losses. Obviously, if he doesn't tighten anything up, I'm gonna take advantage of it. But I'm expecting a brand new, fresh, rejuvenated Marlon Moraes, and it's gonna be a tough fight. But I feel like I have the range and the footwork and the reach to kind of nullify all his power. And once I get the opportunity to put him away, I'm gonna put him away.
And as far as in that fight, as far as the corner goes, is it just going to be Tyson and Max? I mean, who's it going to? I'm sorry, Calvin. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be that small group?
So it'll be Tyson, Calvin Kattar, and then Jake.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I mean, keeping it close. I mean, obviously the bubble and everything. I mean, coming out of that fight, I don't look too far ahead in the future, but you're in a tough training camp, as you said. You can't really eat over Thanksgiving. I've got to know as a foodie myself, what's that first meal you're going to be looking at when you come out of that fight? What's that first meal you want? Because I know that American food's good.
Yeah. No, so we're fighting in Vegas, right? So there's this burger spot called Fuku Burger. It's like a mix of an Asian-style hamburger. Ooh. It's amazing, man. If you ever go to Vegas, look up Fuku Burger. So my plan is going there and win this fight, and I'm getting that shit delivered to me. You know what I'm saying? If not, I got to go with the classic pizza, man. You can't go wrong with pizza.
You can't.
But definitely burger, man. Look it up. Trust me. Look it up. If you ever come to the States and go to Vegas, just look up Fuku Burger. You'll thank me. Trust me.
I mean, I'm going to have to wait till I'm 21 to go, and I'll be fooling some people with the beards and the little beards, the patchy beards and all that. But next year, 21, I think that's a big time for me to go to Vegas. And I've got
come
to be
out, bro. Come out.
For the crowd. That's for sure.
Come out, bro. Come out. Tell me. You're going to love it.
And obviously, with this fight, I mean, as I mentioned, the footwork and the range, do you think that's going to be the key deciding factor in this fight? Because obviously, he does like to strike, but as we've seen recently, he does like to grapple as well. So do you believe you can keep on the outside with that footwork?
Yeah, so my plan is to frustrate him, keep him on the outside, and force him to take bad shots. And then, obviously, I got to be prepared for the shot. But again, we're all mixed martial artists, and we all know jiu-jitsu, and we all know how to wrestle. So it's kind of like I'm not going to expect him to come in there and turn into a kickboxing fight. I'm expecting a full-rounded, well-rounded Marlon Moraes, hunting for submissions, hunting for takedowns, hunting for big punches and kicks. So I'm not taking this fight very lightly, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised or if I'm dinging him up or I'm at range if he shoots. And my job is to take him, obviously stop the takedown, and I wouldn't be surprised either if I take him down. So again, we're all mixed martial artists, so whatever the fight takes, we're gonna. Whatever he gives me, I'm gonna take, and then if he shoots, I'm gonna stop it. So.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you know what to expect in the fight, but different circumstances, maybe not knowing what to expect with the Apex. I mean, no crowds. I mean, do you think it's going to be? Have you sort of prepared? Do you think it's just going to be like a sparring session, or obviously there's no crowd, you're hearing everyone shouting and all that. So how do you think that's going to be different?
So like I said, I was fortunate enough to see Calvin do it twice this year, in Jacksonville and in Fight Island. We've been mimicking kind of like only having a couple people in the gym and super quiet when we spar. So, we try and mimic that as much as possible. But I think, in that first 30 seconds, the first jab I land or the first kicks or something I land or whatever, he hits me first, I think it's going to go all out. It's going to be turned into a fight. So I would say the only thing that probably be weird is the walkout. After that, I think it's going to be just another day.
Fair enough, man. I think he's definitely going to have trouble, hacking down that new robot leg. That's for sure. I mean, indestructible in that area.
That's just fucking states. That's like a fucking brand new titanium leg, baby.
There you go. I mean, and obviously with because obviously you're going to be. I'm presuming you're going to be cornering Calvin in January. Am I right?
Yep.
So
Yes, sir.
what's your Christmas going to be looking like? Are you going to have time to go home, or is it straight into focusing with Calvin?
And it's gonna be. I'm gonna enjoy myself in Vegas that Saturday, Sunday. Get back Monday. Probably get a massage, and I'll be right back in the gym Monday night to help him out. And then obviously I'll enjoy a little bit of Christmas, but I'm pretty sure I'll be training that day with him. And then again, we're gonna celebrate after he wins his fight. So.
Yeah. So with all that, and obviously you might want to take a bit of time after his fight in January. So what's the ideal turnaround time for you? When's the ideal month that you want to fight next year?
I say March the latest.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm trying to try to get back in there and trying to keep my name out there, trying to get things rolling. But you never know, man. Like I said, you never know if the UFC might be another year, so we'll see. But I would say, get through December, January, and then at least have a name or an idea by March for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, I know your goals obviously to become the champion, getting those big fights. But I want to know what's your kind of goals outside that. And obviously, you've got the cartels. I see you're repping now. It's looking proper fresh. Like, what are your? I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I might have to get me some. I'm not sure.
I got you, man.
It's big. So, what are your goals? Not only in the UFC, but do you have any out that you're really pushing?
So yeah, right now, I've been selling a lot of commercial waste services as far as like roll off dumpsters, the trash cans or behind the stores, junk removal services. So I've been basically working on saying my sales skills and just kind of like networking and trying to like set myself up for afterwards. Just then just trying to make smart investments with this money that I gain. And I just got my gym. I still teach. I do private lessons, a part-time sales job, and then MMA, and then, just trying to be smart with the real estate that I buy, and save as much as possible, and put the money to work as best as possible. But definitely trying to set myself up for afterwards, but definitely not thinking too much of it. I'm not saying I'm not thinking about it, but I'm slowly setting it up for afterwards. And then just taking what comes, or whatever. You never know. I might end up doing something. Because again, I started this sales job after the pandemic, so like it just happened. I was like, all right, so whatever comes my way, I'm one of those guys that just goes with the flow, and we'll see. But yeah, and it's definitely something most and every fighter needs to worry about, because this shit happens fast and this sport is brutal. And no offense to Mike Tyson and Roy Jones, but I don't want to be out there fighting like 50 fucking years old, and still fighting, So we're definitely trying to get that on point before that time comes.
Yeah, definitely. You've got to make an exception. Even if you do fight at that age, you've got to have cartel on the canvas, that's for sure. Or on your shorts or something.
Exactly. Definitely thinking, like, obviously after not fighting anymore, definitely doing like a lot of BJJ tournaments and helping the as far as being active and competitive. You never know, maybe some commentating. I might even start a podcast. I don't know. Maybe start interviewing people. I don't know, something, like try to do something. Calvin obviously has Combat Zone, so I could probably start commentating there. Like, we'll figure something out. But right now, the goal is to get in there, knock Marlon Moraes out, and go eat that burger from Fuku Burger.
I know. I mean, that's exciting, that's for sure. I mean, like, final question, with all this, going on with the UFC, and obviously you're going to keep on winning and all of that, do you sort of feel there's added pressure? Because Dana's mentioned that the UFC are going to cut about 40 fighters. So do you sort of feel, along with the pandemic, and you said you started new business ventures, do you sort of feel like it's now or never, all this added pressure? Do you let that get to you, or just focus?
No, I mean, I think I put enough pressure on myself to perform to my ability and what I want to do. So yeah, I'm not worried about that. Obviously it does suck, but the thing about it in the UFC, you that's always in your head, regardless. You know what I'm saying? Even if you win, it's still in your head. Like, you can go out there and win a boring ass fight and still get cut. So it's like, we know that going in. So as far as the pressure to kind of perform, I put enough pressure on myself anyway. I don't need a Dana White or the cuts to kind of like, add to that. And I'm not even feeling it. I'm going to go out there, do my thing, and then, see how it plays out.
Nice. I mean, and you've got anything to promote? Anything to promote? I mean, you're welcome. The floor is yours.
Yeah, man. Again, December 19th, check it out. Vegas. Marlon Moraes versus Rob Font. It's gonna be a great fight. If you want to follow me, Instagram is Rob_Font, Twitter Rob S Font, Facebook on the Rob Font. Again, if you're in the New England area, Boston area, you need any type of roll off, trash removal, commercial, anything like that, contact me. And then again, if you want any of the cartel swag, just hit the link in my bio. We're selling out fast, so get up there and support the boys. And again, thanks for having me on, bro. Appreciate that.
Perfect.